Hello, welcome back. We're gonna play some chess today. Let's play some chess, right? Let's see how it goes. Right, we got candidate master. Okay, maybe this. Try and reduce their counterplay. Yeah, maybe. Seem to know what they're doing. We normally bring the knight out here. Yeah. We have h5 actually. Maybe that was a bit careless. Could go h3, b5 trade, and f4 maybe is one possibility. Maybe this move. Right, that move I missed. Not sure it's a good move, but I missed it. I need to kind of defend along this rank. Okay. Maybe bishop e5 is a move, yeah. Sure about that move either. Maybe it should have gone f4 and gone for the exchange. Sack. Because now I'm not sure if I'm threatening this because it's going to bring this knight in. Play queen b6. Why is everybody listed from Ukraine now? Maybe they're just trying to pledge allegiance with that country. So I could take on b5 as one option. And go rook d1. Yeah, it's tough. Just as tough. Playing good players. Still seem to be doing quite well. Winning a pawn maybe. We're going to go b4 at some point, right? Does he go b4? Maybe he goes b4, I don't know. King h2, he wants b4 probably. Hang on. Let me think about this. Maybe I can go here. Okay, for rook a8, maybe rook f2. I wanted f4. And then try and break. If I had e5, but now I realise it probably is not that great. You can just take. If rook a1, he's got knight e3. There's rook f2. Maybe. He's probably going to be able to win the b3 pawn, right? b2 pawn. Okay, we can go here. Again, e5 is possible. We have to start doing this, right? Knight e4. Right, he wants to mate me. Wow. How rude. g3. Try and go rook d5. It's become a bit of a mess. I take. Knight e4 is an option. b5. Yeah. Clever. Okay, draw. Fair enough. Tough game. Probably was doing well. I'm sure I was doing well, but he defended reasonably well. It's a draw. Take. Let me just go here and then bring the bishop out. Maybe, okay, so one knight d2, right? Yeah, reasonable. Rook c8. Knight c4, queen c7, knight e3, bishop e6, maybe. There's also a6 as an option. And this. Okay. At any point I could play knight d5. But then you want to trade, if you take with a pawn, go bishop d7, play f5. Although now maybe it's more relevant. I don't think I'm threatening d5 yet, am I? Because queen c5 has got a5. Maybe queen c6 or bishop f8 is an option. Yeah. Queen c6 again. It's b5 as possible, because this guy's hanging. Try to force the issue, but I'm not sure, but he can go f3. Probably most likely move. I was slightly surprised by that, was not bad. Maybe should have just taken on e4 immediately. Knight c5, b4. f5 is an option. I guess he goes f3, right? No, that move I missed. Still knight c5 is possible. Take back the rook. Not sure about this position. There's f4. Go knight c2. There's one more options of d5. Maybe he can pin me rook a6. I could take on b5. Probably reasonable comp, right? It's also here threatening d5. Blundered rook a6 and I didn't play it. Bishop f5. Rook d2. Rook b2, sorry. c8. d3 maybe. Sure what's going on here. I'm trying to be solid. Yep, maybe king f7. It's like a nothing move though. Doesn't do anything. Yeah. Try and play on the clock. Maybe he'll take. I suspect he's very fast when it comes down to it. What am I doing that move for? Yeah, so trade rook b8. He's got b4. Need to speed this up. b4 anyway. Rook a6. Rook f1. e7. Rook a5 at some point. Okay, I went on merit. Good. He declined. Good. I put him in his place. He's a good player. I think he born 2010, right? I mean, it says 2010, so that means he's like 14, which makes sense. They're so good, these kids. It's unbelievable. So this new generation is like the best generation ever, in my opinion. But yeah, I've had this before. Actually, e6 is a reasonable kind of move there. Take with a pawn. Oh, yeah, maybe take. There is knight g5 or knight e5. I forget which one is good. Maybe this. You can go queen d5. I think I've looked at this theory before, but I forget why it's supposed to be good. There is queen d5, bishop e2, and give up the g pawn, but I think that's theory, but I might be wrong. Okay, he's done that instead, which is also reasonable. I could go queen e2, but queen h5, g6, or bishop e2, and then rook g. No, bishop e2 probably not good here. There's also queen g4 is an option. Go try queen g4, not sure, but e5 just check. It loses a rook. Although even that's not 100% clear because, well, it should be clear, but don't even go e5. So now maybe I'm ready to develop with bishop e2. Yeah, I forget develop. There's also bishop f4 ideas. Bishop f4 is possible here. I'll probably just develop. Probably gonna, yeah, wow, that move I missed. Bishop f4. He wants knight f6 clearly, which is actually a pretty good move. Bishop f4, maybe knight f6. Maybe bishop f4. Knight f6, queen g3. So I think he'll probably go, yeah. So now castles, even though that does allow bishop g2. Right. No, you can't go bishop g2, sorry. It's queen g3 now. Yeah, so if I take on c7, it goes bishop g7. It's going to go here. Which I missed. Yeah. I'm not sure. Once I take this pawn, whether this is good for me or not. Take this pawn as well, but no, which is surprising. Bishop e5. Looks like a natural move. He takes knight e5, queen h6, friendly mate. Or queen e7. Probably doesn't do that. Otherwise, maybe I'll go h4 and start undermining him. Maybe f3 sometimes covers some squares, but Got to find a way to break out here because otherwise it's very passive. What's the pawn count? Am I still a pawn down? Maybe I'm still a pawn down. Incredibly, I'm still a pawn down, which is kind of surprising. Knight d7, very active move, which I missed. There's f4. Bishop f4. That's not a blunder, might be a reasonable move. Maybe knight e6 is now a threat. Can I go knight e6? Bishop f4, knight f4, I'm going to be doing quite well. I've got the pawn back now. He's played that, which I missed. He probably wants to line up queen d8. Knight, okay, maybe f3 or bishop g4 is another option. Queen e3 might be good. Hit pawn. Maybe g4? G4 is rook g5. G5, knight e6. Nah, blunder there. He's got a queen e2, which is stupid. Okay, he blundered in turn. So, both blundering. But I think I was winning there at the end, but I was just using too much time. I don't know why I got so short time. That was poor. Okay. This is standard stuff. Normally go knight e7. I've seen the engine play at c5 recently against me in a training game. Which is okay, he's playing something unconventional, but not bad. I mean, g6 is very weakening, so not move you want to play, really. Okay, I'm going to go here, but I'm really not happy about it. And then knight f4. At least maybe now I've got g6. Okay, obviously we take. We could take and get e4. That's an option. Maybe he's got queen d5. Yeah, because of queen f6. Maybe queen f6. He's got g4. I'm not sure. I mean, if we get to take that pawn, I must be doing very well. But I think he's got g4. So queen h4 now. Or knight e5. He's got. There's also g6, which is not ridiculous. But he's going to castle queenside. Try that move. I'm not sure about it. Yeah, that move's annoying. So it feels like I should bring the rook, right? He's going to castle queenside. He's got quite good play. Annoyingly. He's probably going to gang up on the pawn. Maybe knight e5 and just... Knight e5 he can take there, but it is what it is. Maybe queen g4. Wow, he's allowed knight d3, which is surprising. If he takes twice, I got queen f2, so I think he'll take once. And then play something like queen f3, right? That's more logical. But there's rook e2. Rook e2, bishop g3, check. I've got that move which I missed, obviously. There's rook c2. That rook is becoming increasingly marooned from the action. What is his idea? Rook e8, say. Rook d1, right? So if I take on... Feels like I should have a win here, but I don't see it. Okay, there's a very clever line here, but I'm not sure. It's queen e1 here. Queen e1 is a very interesting move. There's also rook c2 for the way, queen e1. Queen e1. Can't take, because it'd probably do something like Queen B7, right? No, you can't go Queen B7. He's kind of frozen for the time being, but I don't have a threat. Yeah, this is the idea, and then Queen and Pawn. Okay, that was lucky. I don't know who always pre-move is. Doesn't have a title, right? Seems to play in a kind of human-like fashion. One of the ways I think you can get better is actually, or play better blitz, is just to watch videos of people like Nakamura playing before you play. Because you start to get, yeah, obviously, you know, it's tough to think on their level, but you start to get on, start to think on maybe a slightly higher level. That's what I noticed. Yeah, so E6 is the main line. Should probably play this time. That's what a lot of them play, and it's actually pretty decent. Ah, this is another. This is like the old main line. You take straight away. Probably go for the same moves, right? Yeah, E6. I mean, F6 is not that great. It is playable. Yes, this is what I had before. So takes, and then Queen G4 because they can't go E5. So what was he doing before? Bishop D5, right? This is what we had before. Like knight. Maybe I should go Bishop F4 there, but so he's changed attack. Yeah, he's played that move. There is Bishop F4. Queen. Yeah. Can I go Bishop E5 now though? Maybe it's kind of annoying for him because Rook G8. It's not ideal because yeah, to play that move seems a little bit desperate. Okay, so the idea is to go H4, H3 maybe. There's Queen F4 here, and then you're coming in check and taking the rook. Don't worry about G pawn. So you're probably losing a rook, but you can still play on. No, he's resigned. Okay, we'll carry on. Yeah, I think if you got a good score against someone, you just keep playing on, right? Yeah, because they got negative momentum, you've got positive momentum. Yeah, they could certainly take. Well, he's actually gone. Yeah, that's a reasonable option. Yeah, I could go E4. But then knight D2, maybe E4. Yeah, if I take DC goes D5, I think. But then maybe knight E7. Well, it's not really what you want. He's got E4, for example. He's gone there. Knight G6, maybe. I also have to watch out H4 ideas. Bishop B2, yeah. Queen E7 is an option. Yeah, now knight F6, right. So he's not worried about that pawn. Bishop D3, Bishop G4, probably. Or, yeah. Again, he wants to castle queenside. Interesting. Hmm. Well, I could castle here. I don't really see any negative sides to that. Right. The A5, clamp down that weakness. Knight 7, try and get. Okay, I missed just taking, weirdly. Even though it's by far the most obvious move. Yeah, so now I need a good plan, which is not so. I mean, I'm pawn up, but he clearly has very good play for it. Okay, maybe F6. Don't just do anything too bold for time. Actually, rook a6, rook b6 might be an option. Especially if he castles queenside. Yeah, maybe this. Here. Rook b6. Maybe b6 and queen e8. He's not interested. Just wants to break me. I'll maybe put the bishop back on g4 actually if I get the option. Yeah, I'm not sure this a pawn is that relevant. Shouldn't have allowed this. Yeah, now I'm in a bit of trouble. She's gonna maybe break open the king side somehow. And I'm down on time, so this is big trouble for me. So a move like g4 is very dangerous. Okay, I need to break out. Right. There's no tactics here now. Queen e7. Queen d6. Okay, I'm really down on time here. g4 does queen f4 check. I'll say the knight is terrible. Maybe bishop e8. Knight d7. Like g4. Okay, knight d7. 5. Yeah, I'm not doing great here. Still kind of messy. Bishop h5 and try and put the rook back on a7. He's blundered the rook, which is lucky. Again, I'm lucky against this guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's persistent with his line. You're supposed to go bishop e2 here, I think. I've had this before. Okay, that is also an option. Maybe h4, h5 and soften him up. The h5 now. Yeah, I've got g5 actually. g5, h6, and if g4, knight h4, maybe. Because I'll stop his bishop coming out. Okay, so this is, maybe this is actually not a very good way to play that I've done. Okay, could take. With somebody like queen c2, right? It sort of feels that he's doing well now. Okay, he's just taken that pawn, which I missed. He can't take the pawn though, that's the only good thing. So if queen b1, he goes c6. There's queen a2 as an option. I might need to move the king away. Like king of, yeah, that's also a good move. I'm in a little bit of trouble here. I want to go f4. Yeah, but it's not easy to get in f4 because the rook is always hanging. Maybe king f1, king g2. Yeah, he's playing this well. Queen a6. Rook h3, maybe. Just got to play for f4. He's got knight d5. f4, yeah, he wants to say maybe, okay, queen c2. If f4, g4. Okay, here, and check. I go rook back. Check. This feels like a key game. If I win this, you know, I'm in good shape, but... Okay, there's Queen F5. Yeah, it's taking this guy, right? Moves to D2. And then try and go Queen F5 and sort of get some counterplay. But it's not going to be enough, probably. Queen F5. Okay, if he takes, is that check? So sometimes Bishop G4 is an option as well. Doesn't look very good for me, this position. Wow, that move I didn't see at all. I wants Knight F4. Right. If King F1, Knight F4, Bishop G4, what's that like? I've got G3 sometimes. Knight F4, Bishop G4. There's also Queen B5 check. Maybe you start to become worried about Queen B5 check. Queen D5. Yeah, maybe this. Let's say takes. Okay, check. Check, Bishop F7. Or Bishop C4 immediately is also possible. He's got moves like G3 maybe. Okay, Queen E8. Try and take this guy. Okay, that move I missed. He's got check. Check or Rook G3 is also possible. Try and check or take the bishop. Try and take the bishop. Rook G5, you can't activate the rook, so I'm threatening Bishop D3. There's check and Rook C1 options. Yeah, this Rook C1 or Bishop E6 is also playable. Okay, now takes. This should be good. Yeah, finally, yeah, I got him. I think I think I was pushing my luck there because he was outplaying me that last game, right? So 5-0 against that guy is a pretty good score. Who is that guy? I mean, he seemed to be a pretty decent player, right? So I think this game I was in big trouble. This is not an accurate game at all. Let's have a look at the game. What the missing moves in the opening? Terrible game. Terrible quality. Yeah, not good enough. I haven't eaten yet either. Yeah, E6 is absolutely correct, right? Now, what I was doing, okay, we can look at F6. Yeah, G6. This is actually the main line. Probably should just castle, actually, and just play for comp and just admit your good compensation, but nothing more than that. So I think when I analysed this before, he just basically said it was equal, like on a higher debt, or even maybe even slightly better for black, but good chances for black. Because I had some game like years ago against Grandis and Ego, I castle, he went Queen D6 instead of G6, sorry. But I don't think that's a very good line for black. I think G5 is okay. I mean, again, the computer's given that a question mark. That's not a bad move. I went castle. It's actually a mistake. I mean, I'm sorry, I played H6. I should castle. Which is actually kind of an understandable move because you're trying to prevent his bishop activating. But yeah, already I'm a lot worse. This is not a good game at all. And but this is very typical. When you know the accuracy level's low, but it's a very murky position. So it's much easier to play accurate chess in boring kind of positions, right? This is yeah, not good for me at all. Yeah, he's got moves like G3. I mean, he should have probably closed me out from here, to be honest. And then I started to feel like reason. Actually, that was also a mistake. I should have gone check and rook H1, but now I let his king escape. And he's actually doing pretty. Yeah, I was expecting Queen F3 here. I was surprised. Yeah, very surprised when he played that move. Now he's lost. And now it's fairly simple. Yeah, so that game was not good, right? What were the other games? Let's analyze all. I think what you should do is you should analyze all your games. I need to upload a new video. Right, this game was also a poor game. I think I was doing quite well at one point. But yeah, castles is not great. I should just maybe castle queenside here or something. No, it's actually saying that's okay. But at some point I started in 98 I missed. Yeah, the idea 96 F5, yeah. A5 was a bit, yeah, just really poor, really poor quality. So my idea was maybe to go Rook B6, Rook B4 and sack the exchange, but actually I don't think that's a great idea anyway. Because when you go D takes B4, they have C5. So you don't get Queen C5 with counterplay. So I started to realise that, and then I started to realise, yeah, now here I should definitely go. As soon as I play my move, I was like, why didn't I go Bishop G4? Because that shuts them out. And now it's, yeah, I thought like moves like G4. Yeah, the computer suddenly changes. You should go knight E7 actually. Knight E7, knight C8, knight D6. But now he's a lot better. He's really steaming now. So yeah, actually kind of lucky to beat this guy by the score that I did. You know, the games were pretty. He's actually winning the last two games. So normally I'm the one who's going, oh my God, how am I sort of like. This game felt a little bit more accurate. Well, basically because it was, yeah, 93. But again, it's easier when you just win quickly and they. So how good is this whole line? Like E6, knight G5 is actually a good move. And if you go Queen D5, do you go Bishop E2? You do, and you sack the pawn. I was right that this is some kind of theory. But actually taking is wrong. You should just go Bishop E2. Wow. Wow, that's insane. And then just give up, of course. Light square delight. Light square delight, this is. This would be romping for white. Queen of, yeah, beautiful variation. Right, I'll try and remember that. Of course I'll forget it. But Queen G4? So he kind of really didn't know what he was doing in this whole opening. And he made a big blunder around about here. Like, actually, this is already a big blunder. He needs, yeah, I thought you'd go Queen A3, actually. How about this Queen A3? I guess you just castled you. Yeah. The Queen A6 is better. Yeah, with the idea of Bishop H6, computer very good at finding concrete ideas, but he goes, yeah, now this is just horrible for him. Yeah, it's just resignable. Well, he didn't actually go Bishop G2, just resigned. Okay, so we carry on. We carry on. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel. That game was also quite poor. There was this game where I won with black, with my combo. Slightly better, 89% in terms of some of the other games. Yeah, I don't think Queen H4 was a very good move. Yeah. Yeah, H5. Wow. I'm missing lots of ideas. Lots of ideas I'm not even seeing, right? Somehow I'm missing something. I feel overall I'm playing okay-ish. Not playing terrible. Obviously that was good. So I just wondered whether my sat, actually my sat was quite reasonable. And then Queen E1. Makes it very tough for white because how do you play practically? You can't move anything. Weird kind of combo. I know the computer gives it a question mark. What was better? H5. I mean, it's so typically computerish that it doesn't care what the best move is. Like the human ego wants to play an active move. The computer goes H5's the best move, right? Who the fuck is going to find H5 there? H5 rook D3? Sorry? What? I don't know. I don't get that. Why is h5 rook d3 not good? Oh, because of rook f2. Right, right. And you start getting active. Wow, wow. Or just h6, same idea. Just free up the back rank. But I think practically that's like the best move, Queen e1. I disagree. I think practically it's easier for him to play after h5 because it's so easy for him to blunder here like he did. And the other line I was looking at was rook c2 and then Queen e1. With the idea if he takes. Oh, I thought it was check. Oh my god, yeah, because looking like check or like d2, king c2, and then knight the pawn. But it's not check, so after d2 he can just ignore me. So I'm glad I didn't do that because that would have been pretty embarrassing. Right. Yeah, and what were the other games like? Let's have a look at let's look at all of them. There was this game where I was white, and I think I missed easier wins. Yeah, again, poor quality game, but murky. See, the murkiness drags the accuracy level down. That doesn't like my position actually. So I thought this is the same line we looked at. Or maybe you don't taking is actually wrong. Yeah, so you should just go knight g5. What's the best move now? Knight g5 or knight e5 is quite good. Yeah, I've seen this knight. I think I've played this knight e5 move before. Or knight g5. Don't take the pawn. Taking the pawn's wrong. Okay, I'll try and remember this all for next time. Of course, I won't. I think I missed like a clear win at some point later on. Yeah, queen e8 was a mistake. Maybe queen a8. It should be 5. I had a knight e6. Yeah, I saw that data, but then I missed it here. Yeah, now I'm like romping. The queen e3 was a blunder as well. It felt like a natural move, and maybe he goes e5 after queen e3. Ah, he's got e5. Yeah, I actually looked at bishop g4. He's kind of like, he simplifies it. Yeah, I did consider bishop g5. I think I would have played that in a longer time control, like in a rapid play game. I would have gone bishop g4 because you're simplifying the game. Yeah, e5 is tremendous for black. You're suddenly bursting out. But now it's just terrible. Actually, knight e6 was also a blunder because I suddenly realised you had queen e6, queen g5, queen e2. And there's no mate. This is obviously what he blundered. So I blundered here. Yeah, just simple me that h4 wins. Knight g4, queen g3. Which you should see. You know, you've got enough time. But it's just a stupid blunder. Yeah, I mean, it's really bad. You know, this is a problem with obviously Blitz time controllers. They've got 30 seconds left. You're going to make terrible blunders. That's the admission of it. So those are the games against Premove. What about the games against Van Donimo? The first game I felt I was winning at some point, but he was probably also winning at some point later on. Wow, it's actually a very accurate game, which really surprises me because it didn't feel like an accurate game at all. So actually knight g3 is wrong here. What you're supposed to do, I've had this kind of position before. Just go knight c1 or bishop f2, weirdly. I think the problem is well, I don't mind knight g3 to be honest. But bishop d7, this felt very flat what he was doing. Because my idea is if he goes a, b, I was going to go b4, which is a very standard idea. And when they take, you move the knights. Yeah, knight e2. Okay, he took with a bishop, which kind of threw me, but actually pretty decent move. So he wants to go knight d7. And he's got a good game now because knight e5, knight c4 is coming, or knight e5, knight d3. Yeah, and I thought maybe here, around about here, you know, actually I thought about was going f4, weirdly enough, and just giving up the exchange and felt like decent practical chances. But, you know, discretion being the better part of valor, I didn't do that. I think he kind of blundered here because now I get a better endgame, but it's not by no means winning, but it's better. Yeah, and I really wasn't sure how to try and win this. To be honest, I went eventually I came up with a bad idea. Should go rook check king h2, of course. Why didn't I do that? It's just about madness what I did. Madness, really annoying. And now it just became like a crapshoot. He tried to mate me, which is understandable because I'm flapping here. There's probably computer sees a million ways to avoid the mate. But I'm thinking rook a1, right? Like rook e2 or rook a1, you just go g4 or something. Right. Some move and you'll survive. It's actually important to prevent knight e3 as well. But now, yeah, I'm just kind of playing for a draw by this point. I don't really feel I got any advantage. You could even say about the knight. It's just it's equal and a draw. So reasonably accurate game, actually. Yeah, I can see why they said it was an accurate game. So there weren't any big blunders in that game, which kind of keeps the. So this game didn't look out, and I won with black eventually. But I felt like I was doing really well for most of the game, but I kind of started to crack up towards the end. And then h6, of course, is very, very nice. And yeah, I felt like this is already, you don't do play chess like this. Somebody said on Twitter, it's strong chess on Twitter. He said he analysed all the games from on Lee Chess, right? He did all the stats on Lee Chess and all the games of players who played the against the Bishop E5 Czech Sicilian. He said that I scored the best. I had the best statistics in relation to my rating of any player. And I think the reason is very simple. When I was younger, I studied the kind of Nidorf Sicilian very deeply through this Danny King book, and it's the same structure. So I'm very aware of these structures with the pawn and d6, e5. I think those kind of positions I can play them. A lot of those kind of positions I can play them like a strong GM, or I got to understand it like a strong GM because I read that book when I was younger quite deeply. If I'd have read a lot of opening books, this is why I missed out. It's where I really screwed up. Is if I'd have studied a lot of opening books like I studied that Danny King book, I think my chess level would have been much higher right now. But I had a lot of gaps in my knowledge, and I didn't. Yeah, I think I'd probably be in Super GM, to be honest, if or close to Super GM, if I'd have done that. But I didn't do that. But so yeah, I think my level of understanding. Having said that, my Bishop B5 Czech Sicilian score in the over the board games is not very good recently. So I don't really understand why that's happening. I think it's just like a variance thing. Also playing against good players like Daniel Fernandez. So yeah, I mean that's also taken into consideration. Yeah, I thought 94 actually. No, 94 doesn't work because they take, right? So you have to do this, right? And I thought I had a really good position. Like F5 was okay. Or not, F5 wasn't the best, but it's okay. Yeah, F4, knight C5 is fine. I mean, this is just fine for black. Like, no problems. Yeah, D5 was my first instinct, but I was slightly concerned about this pin on the D file, but you can't exploit it. I mean, I should just break out now. Whenever you get an opportunity to play D5 in the Sicilian, if you got that opportunity, you should take it. Don't wait. And here I waited, and I never really got that opportunity again. And he started out playing me a little bit, and I really don't really have like a plan now because I haven't played this D5 move. So he can slowly. It's hard for him to go forward though because you can't play B4 because the pawn is dropping. I feel like this position, even though the computer gives black a slight edge, I feel the position just objectively, yeah, it's changed now. It's just equal. And then, yeah, rook b8. Yeah, I feel like it just came down to time. I had better, I was in a better clock space than he was. And this is just good for me. Rook c1, and then well, d5 was a blunder. We were both just playing on instinct here. My instincts weren't very good because I should just take the pawn. So d5 is a shocker. Okay, but if knight d6 I was expecting actually. Well, as soon as I played the move, yeah, knight b6. But he just blundered. And now I'm winning. It's a simple win. Yeah, so okay, so overall, I'm fairly happy. I played 7 games and I got 6.5 out of 7, and I gained a lot of rating. So that's a good session. That's what you would call a good session. So that's good. By the way, I'm also doing a preview of the candidates this week on a podcast with Neil Bellon. So I worked with that guy before. He's based in Long Island, New York. We're going to do a podcast and preview the candidates, which should be fun actually, and talk about who we think the favourites are. So please leave your comments down below who you think the favourites are for the candidates. Are you looking forward to candidates? I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fantastic. Reddit's just going to go blow up, right? It's just going to go bonkers. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, please check out that podcast. I should leave the link below. Okay, thanks again, and please like and subscribe.